CoreCon integrates with several accounting packages. This integration is comprised of 3 application components, all working together to automate the entire estimating, project management, job costing, and general accounting functions. CoreCon uses a utility called AccountingLink to communicate with different accounting packages. CoreCon integrates with QuickBooks Pro Premier Enterprise, QuickBooks Online, Sage 50 Canada, Pro Premier and Quantum, SAP Business One, and Xero. The goal of the AccountingLink utility is to move information between CoreCon and the accounting package related to job cost transactions. The project financial transactions communicated are bills, subcontract invoices, employee miscellaneous expenses, time cards, and client or prime contract invoices. AccountingLink also helps information flow the opposite direction in case of some records, in addition to check and deposit information. For each package that CoreCon integrates with, CoreCon provides a business process diagram. In this case, this is the CoreCon to QuickBooks integration. Once that integration and implementation are complete, some records flow in both directions. For example, records such as companies and employees will sync both directions. Once the integration and implementation are complete, job cost transactions such as labor time cards, miscellaneous expenses, bills, subcontract invoices, and prime invoices flow from CoreCon through the AccountingLink into your accounting package. Each one of these diagrams is color-coded, and the legend shows that the colors correspond to the menus and features so that the features are easy to find. There are 2 possible ways to connect to the AccountingLink. For the accounting packages that are online or web-based, going to the main menu of CoreCon, there will be an option at the bottom of this list that shows the AccountingLink. Since CoreCon is a web-based product and some accounting integration is desktop-based, CoreCon provides an icon and small program that resides on your desktop so that the 2 programs can speak. AccountingLink products are add-ons to CoreCon and provide seamless integration with accounting packages. These applications eliminate the need for double entry and maintain consistency across the organization. From an implementation standpoint, they should be set up immediately in order to populate companies, contacts, payroll items, and tax codes, which are all beginning steps. If we go to the sync preferences, you can see that CoreCon uses options that map information from CoreCon to your accounting package. These link either to general ledger accounts, to records, or to service items, which further allow you to redistribute information as it appears in your accounting package. Ultimately, the goal of this integration is to be able to go to the sync option and control the information flowing to and from CoreCon to your accounting package through a variety of steps. Notice that records, such as companies and employees, are linked or synced, and transactions are exported or imported. In most cases, CoreCon's better equipped to keep a bulk of information regarding records, such as customers, vendors, and employees. It's always best once this information is imported to CoreCon to maintain these records, such as customers, vendors, and employees, because CoreCon manages a larger amount of detail for each of these records. However, some information can flow both directions. Once complete, you're still going to use your accounting package to reconcile bank accounts, receive payments from customers, make payments to vendors, suppliers, and subcontractors, record overhead and general administrative expenses, reconcile credit card statements, and any other transactions that are not affected by job cost. If a job called a prime contract in CoreCon is referenced, that information ultimately will be coming in to your accounting package from CoreCon. On the balance sheet, only a handful of accounts are affected, such as the bank account, accounts receivable, retainage receivable, accounts payable, retention payable, credit cards, and sales tax items. Even fewer accounts are affected on the income statement. These are the billings or income and the cost of goods sold. However, CoreCon depends on your accounting integration for several things. You'll continue to write vendor checks and payroll checks, receive payments from customers, and reconcile bank accounts. In accounts receivable, you'll still receive payments from customers and manage accounts receivable agings. Accounts payable, you'll be making payments to vendors, suppliers, and subcontractors, and manage the accounts payable aging. Sales tax, you'll continue to use your accounting package to remit sales tax and sales tax payments. You'll also manage sales tax reporting and management in your accounting package to write payroll and miscellaneous expense checks, and you'll also be receiving labor time cards and miscellaneous expenses. Credit cards are still going to be balanced in your accounting package. You're still going to pay credit card balances in your accounting package and reconcile credit card receipts to credit card statements. The general ledger will continue to be used for the chart of accounts and journal entries, accrual entries, and general reconciliation. From the standpoint of financial reporting, your accounting package will continue to manage accounts receivable and accounts payable agings, and the balance sheet and your income statement. CoreCon supports the accounting integration in many ways. In regards to banking, CoreCon will record information for miscellaneous expenses as checks, so accounting can print checks. CoreCon will also reference checks received from customers after these are received in the accounting integration. In relation to accounts receivable, CoreCon is going to provide transactional data to record the prime invoice. CoreCon also records and manages retention receivable. With regard to accounts payable, CoreCon provides transactional data to record bills and subcontract invoices. CoreCon also records and manages retention receivable. For sales tax records are charged on prime invoices, prime billings, and customer billings, and therefore will also be communicated to your accounting package. In regards to payroll, it will maintain employee records and rates and provides labor time cards and miscellaneous expense reports with cost data. Credit cards are tracked. In regard to the general ledger, it will post job cost data in a format that will post to the correct GL accounts by client, by job, and by cost code as you designate. For financial reporting, CoreCon will provide the WIP analysis that ties to the revenue and cost of goods sold accounts in the income statement. It will also provide analytics, dashboards, and executive level reporting. The 9-step process that you'll be running on a periodic basis, whether it be daily, weekly, this is maintained by the AccountingLink utility. That wizard will sync linked employees and vendors between CoreCon and your accounting integration. It will sync linked employees. It will export approved projects and prime contracts, in effect creating jobs in your accounting package. It will export new vendors referenced on approved bills and sub-invoices. It will export approved bills and sub-invoices. It will export approved employee miscellaneous expenses. It will export approved prime contract invoices, such as progress billings. It will export new employees referenced on approved time cards, and it will export approved time cards. In each accounting integration, CoreCon uses a record called items. In this case, we're looking at QuickBooks Desktop. If we go to Lists and Items, CoreCon uses sales tax items and sales tax groups to manage sales tax charged on customer invoices. CoreCon also uses service items to track cost codes and determine where the transactions post on your general ledger. In addition, a default is created in case AccountingLink cannot find a matching cost code as a service item in your accounting package. And CoreCon also uses a service item to manage retention payable and retention receivable. There's a couple things you'll need to take into consideration when setting up your chart of accounts. It's not just a matter of how the accounts are numbered or named, but more importantly, the account types. In this case, a checking account will always have an account type called bank. Accounts receivable must be an accounts receivable type. Retainage receivable needs to be an other current asset type. Accounts payable, an accounts payable type. A credit card type. Retention payable needs to be an other current liability. Sales tax payable, also an other current liability type. The construction income or build income should have an account type called income. And your cost of construction or cost of goods sold also needs to be a cost of goods sold account type. A common mistake is to create a retainage receivable with an accounts receivable type. However, this will not allow you to create a service item, as most of the accounting integrations will not allow you to have a service item that references accounts receivable. The same is true for the retention payable. Most of the accounting packages will not allow you to have a retention payable account as a service item that has an account type called accounts payable. It must be an other current liability. By going to lists, item list, another special concern is the item list. If the service items are representing job cost codes as they appear in CoreCon, the GL accounts are very important. For most contractors and construction companies, they're going to be using a revenue account with an account type called revenue or income, depending on the accounting package. The expense account, however, would be a cost of goods sold type account. So in this case, cost of construction. You may also need to remember that a retainage item is important to include. For example, a retainage service item would have the expense account applying to the retention payable account. On the other hand, the income account is going to be posting to the retainage receivable account. You're also going to need a service item as a default. We usually call this service item CCUNC, or unclassified cost codes. The AccountingLink looks at the job cost codes that are referenced in CoreCon and tries to match these to a service item. If the job cost code in CoreCon matches the service item in your accounting package, that's where the information will post. Next, it goes to the internal grouping structure in CoreCon to look at the division. If there's a division that matches between your accounting package and CoreCon, that's next where it will post. And finally, if it can't find either of those matches, it will put it in sort of a clearing account or clearing service item called CCUNC. These are easy to check on a regular basis and move items if they're not posting correctly. It's always a good idea during the implementation to check this regularly to see what information is not posting correctly and simply fix those on the accounting side. Going back to service items used as cost codes, we may also point out that none of these will include a suffix such as labor, material, and so on. CoreCon tracks the cost resources or cost types, material, labor, equipment, subcontract, and other, as additional columns. So each cost code is going to have an additional breakdown of 5 more cost resources or cost types. Again, they're material, labor, equipment, subcontract, other. For that reason, there's no need to create cost codes for each of the cost resources.